Welcome to another episode, everyone. I've said it once, and apparently I have to say it again for the people in the back. 50-50 yards in prison are no good. 50-50 equals 100% bad. You cannot be 50% good. You are either 100% good or you're 100% bad. Now, I just had a conversation with my loved one there in prison. His name is No Love. And we were going over this. Before I get into that conversation, let me say, for the people who may not understand what a 50-50 yard is, once again, I spoke on this a few months ago or something, briefly, a 50-50 yard and what's going on when the dude from Raymond had made a video about the 50-50 yard and how some individuals were trying to push in line on the individuals that were on this 50-50 yard or on different 50-50 yards, because now in prison, there are so many 50-50 yards. Now, let me make this explicitly clear. I did over 30 years of incarceration, nothing to glorify. Hell, in fact, it's rather shameful. But this would give me some sort of credence, some sort of substance, I believe, on the issue anyway. The 50-50 yards work beginning to go on right when I paroled in April of 2022 from Centinela State Prison. Now, a 50-50 yard is, they have SNY yards. SNY stands for sensitive needs yard. You have sensitive needs. You need to be protected. SNY yard is a PC yard. So with all of these SNY yards popping up, and there have been many. In fact, they dominate the prison system as we know it today, the SNY PC yards. And there were individuals on the Mainline who wanted a different program, wanted to program without all of the violence. So the police said, well, we'll put you on a yard with PCs, but you're not PC. Half the yard is going to be PC. The other half of the yard is going to be people who are not protective custody. 50-50. 50% PC, 50% not PC. But that makes absolutely no sense. If you are 50% PC, or if you are the 50% that claims not to be PC, then you would never be on a yard with individuals that are PC, that are protective custody. Understand that the individuals that are protective custody on the 50-50 yards, they cannot come to the Mainline. They are real PCs. Chomos, snitches, whatever. They're irredeemable. They cannot come to the Mainline, no matter what. They're done. Their career is over. It's a wrap. And if you are good and you're over there on the yard with individuals that cannot come to the Mainline, and you don't do anything to these individuals, you can come to the Mainline. Or you used to be able to. You were just a Mainline individual. And you did nothing to dilute that. You should still be on the Mainline. You just decided you didn't want to be on the Mainline anymore. But you didn't snitch, you're not a chomo, any of that. You just want to go home, whatever your situation is. You want out of all of the politics and the violence and all of the structure and organization. You want to go somewhere else. Fine. You get over there to this somewhere else. And this somewhere else is a 50-50 yard. And so you're over there with chomos, PCs, outright PCs, people who snitched since they've been in prison on situations that took place on the yard, people that snitched on their case and got people life in prison, people who snitched on higher-ups, people who have committed heinous, wicked, gruesome crimes that are unforgivable on the Mainline. these crimes. This is why they're over there on the PC yard. If they step foot on the main line, they would lose their life within seconds. So you are a strong individual, a stand-up individual from your part of town. And you go over here to the PC yard with these individuals who are no good for various reasons, and for whatever reason, they cannot come to the main line. And you're over there with them, frolicking around with them. You're having fun. You're playing dominoes. You're chilling. Now, of course, these dudes are going to say, we don't mess with them. We don't mess with that side of the yard. We don't mess with that 50% of the yard. We don't mess with the PCs. It doesn't matter. You're there with them. You are programming with them because you're there with them. So in some way, you're programming with these individuals. And if you're programming with them, you're no good either. They're no good. Your job as a mainline individual is to attack an individual who is not of the main line. SNY, PC. When you come across them. Because if they get to the main line, they're going to get attacked. They have a hit out on them. They're no good once they go PC. So if you're over there with them and you don't attack them and you talking about you a mainline individual, you're lying. You're now PC as well. You're over here with individuals. Everyone on the main line is looking at you saying, how come you haven't attacked these dudes? How come you over there just chilling with them? How can you be over there chilling with chomos and PCs and snitches? People who have done things to children, elderly people. How can you be over there with them? Because the moral code on the yard is they're going to be attacked immediately on the main line. Now you're over there with them and you haven't attacked them again. That means you're not mainline either. So in the conversation that I was having, he was saying the same thing, that he was just saying that the Southsiders, and they're in prison, they're really not going for it. Once you go to a 50-50 yard, it's over. Once they people 50-50, ain't no coming back. I get that, of course. The blacks are doing the same thing in prison, he said. He's in prison right now. The blacks are doing the same thing in prison. They are attacking anyone that comes from a 50-50 yard onto a main line. However, there have been some situations where some of these blacks have indeed been able to get away with this, because there's some yards and some situations where these blacks are coming from the 50-50 yard, hitting a main line, and they are not being attacked. Some individuals are sort of protecting them or feeling like, man, they were not PC. They didn't do anything wrong. Once they found out they were not supposed to be over there, they got from over there and came back over here to the main line. But many yards and most yards, particularly all of the level 4s, the maximum security yards, they're not going for any of that. If you're on a 50-50 yard and you are a black man and you think you're going to come from that 50-50 yard to a mainline yard after you were over there for however long chilling with people who cannot come to the main line. No, that means you can't come to the main line now either. You're tainted. You're just as guilty as they are. As far as the politics are concerned, that's it. Whether in truth or not, as far as the politics are concerned, the prison politics, you are now just as guilty. You're now just as tainted. You're the culprit. You're complicit. That's it. 50-50 yards are 100% bad. This is going to hurt some people because many people have OG homies over there. And these OG homies have called in and told them that it's all good. They're just over there because they want to make it home. They've been in prison for 25 years. They've had enough of all of the violence they put in their work, and they want to make it home now, and that's that. They've done nothing wrong. They're not the snitch. They're not the chomo. They stood tall in prison their entire time. So no one can say anything to them. I've heard this argument. Fine, you can say whatever you want. I'm just letting you know. I don't care who's over there. Whoever is over there, be it your friend or not, your OG homie or not, your little homie, it's all bad. He's a PC now. 50-50 yard is if you're over there with PCs, why? Why would you be over there with PCs? For what reason? You can't cut it on the main line? Why would you be over there with PCs? Why? There's no excuse for it. There's nothing that anyone can say to justify an individual saying that he's 10 toes down, stand-up individual who hasn't done anything to warrant being on a PC yard, would volunteer to go on a PC yard, to go on a yard that's so-called 50-50, where half of the individuals over there have no structure, there's no violence, there's no politics. These individuals are no good in society or anywhere in prison. But you're over there with them, chilling for years, months, days. Man, you're one of them. What part? It's simple math. You're one of them now. You're no good. So that's it. I just wanted to bring that real quick because some people seem to be conflicted about these 50-50 yards there in California and how they're treated and how the individuals there on the 50-50 yards are treated as to whether or not they are attacked once they leave the 50-50 yard. Should they be attacked? Are they PC? Are they considered PC? Should they be considered PC? Protective custody? Because they were over there with PCs. The answer is yes, 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 and yes. They're going to say something different. They're going to tell you different, again, only because they're in that situation and they should not be in that situation. So, of course, they're going to say that there's nothing wrong with it. But the consensus of the individuals there on the main line in prison is that something is very wrong with that. That is something that cannot be excused or justified. And if you come from over there, a 50-50 yard, you're going to be dealt with once you hit the main line. That's what's going on in prison. I don't care what else you've heard, what else they've told you. I'm telling you what's going on. It's all bad. 50-50 yard, half main line, supposedly, half good individuals, half bad individuals. How the hell does that work? You're either all bad or you are all good. There's one or the other. You cannot be both. And if you're all good and you're hanging around with people who are all bad and you're giving them a pass, you're not attacking them for their dastardly crimes, like the individuals on the main line are going to do when they get over there. That's why they're on the PC yard. They can't be on the main line. But you a stump down, stand up main line type of dude. But you over here with these dudes that cannot be on the main line. No. The two are incompatible. It does not make sense. I'm sorry. And I know that's going to hurt some people. I know people on a 50-50 yard as well. And I used to look at them as very strong and stand-up individuals. I no longer do. Now, I understand that they want to make it home. Good for you. Hang it up. We all wanted to get home. Hang it up and make it home. But these dudes hitting the 50-50 yard still gang banging, playing tough. But you're on the 50-50 yard. No, you're not tough anymore. It's all bad. You're all bad. Damn what they told you. If you're in prison and you're on a 50-50 yard, get out of there. If you're going to prison, and you should not be, if you're paying attention to the things that I'm saying here on this channel, if you happen to go because you don't like to listen and you're a hardhead, don't go to a 50-50 yard. If you're a strong individual, go to a Mainline, just mind your own business and be strong. Instead of everyone's business, and there are certain rules that you must abide by. I've already detailed them here on this channel, what the rules are. You abide by these rules, you'll be okay. But the 50-50 yard, that's out. That's a no-go. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine being over there chilling. And everywhere you look, it's a bunch of PDF files. And you just right here in the yard with them. Bunch of snitches. You just right here just chilling. Yeah, man, yeah. Over here working out like you strong doing your burpees. Man, knock it off. Your career is over. Stay safe and stay free, people.